Hi, Cancer. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for May of 2021. Well, if this is your sun sign, your birthday will be here before you know it. And this month, your annual mop-up period begins, which is the 30 days before your birthday, the most important time to become aware of what's coming in the new year. And the best way to do that is in a solar return birthday reading. You can find a link for that in the YouTube description below. Well, we have an eclipse this month. And so I'm going to start this horoscope with the moons. There's a new moon in 21 degrees of Taurus on May 11th. You're going to see the moon coming into conjunction with the sun right about there. And for you, this falls in your 11th house of friends and community groups and networks. We're calling this one the Lotus in the Swamp because Pluto is assisting the moon in Taurus by bringing a quality of transformation and metamorphosis, which the moon in Taurus can sort of render in a peaceful, calm, and tranquil way. So new moons being a good time for new beginnings in your friendships, in your groups and communities. It may be time to make some new starts and to bring a deeper intimacy into those connections. Next thing that's happening is a lunar eclipse, which usually happens 2 weeks later. Eclipses happen in sets every 6 months. So this is the first of the eclipse season. And there it is. The moon in Sagittarius. This is a full moon opposite the sun in Gemini in your 12th house. So this eclipse is a lunar eclipse. It's also a releasing eclipse. A lunar eclipse means it's the moon being eclipsed. That makes this one very emotional, and it tends to really stir the pot emotionally. It makes you look at your shadow, and it's something that generally you'll really feel strongly. That's as opposed to a solar eclipse, which is something that's more likely to be physicalized in the world around you. This one's happening in your 6th house, so you might really feel it at work. It's also a releasing eclipse, and we know that because the south node here in Sagittarius is with the moon. And the south node means it's time to let go of something. And that something would be Sagittarian factors, which is to say, letting go of beliefs that may not be serving you anymore, or which may be false, giving you a false view of the world. And in particular at work. We've named this one, Get Off Your Pulpit and Be Curious, because heading in the north node direction of Gemini is a really good idea during this eclipse, becoming curious and engaging with facts and logic. So let's see. Well, Julia, I know you've got some news about Mercury and Mars. And also, I just want to introduce our new team member, Betsy, who is going to tell you all about Venus. And very soon, Betsy is going to be available for readings. And so I'm excited about that. Hey, Julia, you want to take on Mercury and Mars?
I sure do. Well, hi there, Cancer. I'll begin with Mercury. That's the planet of the mind. It represents how we communicate and how we think. And at the very beginning of the month, it starts in your 11th house of friends and any groups that you're a part of. So the very first couple of days of the month, you still might be in a pretty social mood, maybe wanting to connect with others, maybe do some communication in your friendship circles. But by May 3rd, Mercury is going to slip into the 12th house of isolation. So you're going to start withdrawing from social contact for kind of the rest of the month, perhaps wanting to be a little bit more on your own with your own sort of private thoughts. And since the 12th house is such a diffuse kind of ethereal place, you might be getting your best information from ethereal outlets like dream states and meditation, for example. Mm-hmm. And then the next planet I want to talk about is Mars, which is in your sign, Cancer, all month, which correlates to your 1st house of self. So you're really embodying those Mars vibes this month. You're going to be a lot more willing to kind of assert yourself, know where your rights where your rights are and not let others kind of cross over, which can be very helpful because you are a water sign. Water signs tend to have slippery interpersonal boundaries. So this is a good time to really understand where your boundaries are, to assert yourself more. Just try not to go overboard because Mars can sometimes be a bit conflict prone as well. And Betsy, I heard you have some things to say about Venus.
I do. Thanks, and hello, Cancer. So we've got Venus starting off in the 11th house for you, which is the same house the new moon eclipse will be in. So it's a great time to plant some seeds and think about your community, your network of friends and groups you belong to, and see how much it really feeds your values and makes you feel harmonious and appreciated.
Mm,
And if you want to make any changes, that new moon's a great time to set some intentions around that, maybe do some outreach.
mhm.
But then after May 8th, when Venus moves into your 12th house and the sign of Gemini, then just like with Mercury, you're going to be a little more private, interested in the dreams and spiritual experiences you can have, and feeling harmonious with yourself. So you can allow yourself to take that little bit of rest and really take pleasure in what's around you in your home and your private spaces.
Mm, great stuff. So we have a seasonal change this month, as we always do. The season of Taurus is changing to the season of Gemini, and you know that because the sun is here moving along through Taurus. And boom, it moves into Gemini. Gemini is an air sign, and this is a season of the thriving of butterflies and bees and birds, creatures of the air. It's a time for mobility, it's a time for curiosity, intellectual searching. So enjoy that. The sun brings the spotlight. I like to use that word for the sun because the sun is the source of light and energy in our solar system. And that comes into your 12th house. And you see there's a big gathering of planets here in your 12th house that happens over the course of the month. And so this is really going to pull you inward. And part of this is the beginning of your yearly mop-up period. It's a time for reflection and retreat, turning inward, self-examination, and getting ready to clear the decks for your new year to begin. So I want to let you know that this month and last month, this month we've made you a special set of videos about how do astrologers cope with their own transits. And we're all in that. So you get to hear the word from each of us. And I think that's a lot of fun. You'll find it on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, in the May 2021 news playlist. And you can find us on the web at pandoraastrology.com, where you will discover your horoscope is there, and you can get a reading with any of us, and or take a class. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.